Hello everyone, it's Pam and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a little bit of a collection video as well as a bit of a declutter. We're doing today basically everything but eyeshadows and lips, so all of our face and base products. So we've got our CC and BB creams, we've got powders, we've got primers, we've got blushes, eyeshadow primers, concealers, highlighters, contour and bronzers, brows, blushes, mascaras, and some various finalizing sprays, setting sprays and things like that. So we're going to go through every section on its own and just go through what we have, probably get rid of a few things that are no longer serving any purpose for us, and yeah, let's go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start off with is primers. So I'm honestly not actually a huge fan of primers. So there's not too much in here, and I think some of them I can get rid of. I keep everything in just these little acrylics here, but starting out with, we've got a Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. This stuff is okay. I think I actually had a bit of a reaction the first time I used it, but it's been okay since then. I rarely use this as a primer water, and I mostly use it to wet my brush if I want to put on eyeshadow with a damp brush. But there's very little of it left, as you can see, so I'm going to hopefully finish this by the end of the year. I'm going to sort of set it aside as a you need to finish this now kind of product. I also have a few other little samplers. I've got the MAC Prep Plus Prime Fix Plus, which is another good one. I will probably go into this once I'm finished that primer water over here. Another one, a Smashbox Primerizer, just a little wee sample. I haven't tried it yet, but I'd like to because I've heard pretty good things about it. Mostly I just prime with moisturizer rather than an actual primer, but I think this is a primer plus moisturizer, so I'd like to try it out. Chances of me spending the money on a full-size one are pretty small, though. I also have this other Smashbox Radiance Photo Finish. I think I'm going to get rid of this. I haven't used it much, but let me just see what it looks like here. So it's very dark, first of all, and it's very shiny. So I don't really think this is going to work for me. This is going to go. I also have this Cover FX Blurring Primer, which I'm not really a fan of. It's got this weird consistency. It comes out sort of very dry looking. Now once it actually goes on, it is quite smooth, but I just find it's just adding extra product onto my face and makes it more likely that my base is going to pill if I use this. So this is going to go away as well. And then I've got this Maybelline Master Prime Blur Plus Smooth. And I honestly don't even remember what this is like. It's been so long since I used it, but let's see. So it's basically, I don't know, kind of feels just like a moisturizer, it's not very silicone-y or anything. I'll keep that. I'll see if I can get some use out of it in the next little while. Otherwise, I'll probably get rid of that. But for now, this can stay. So that's our primers. 4 little primers in here. That was easy. And now we have our base products. So honestly, my most used base is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer. This particular one is in Light 5N. I also have a mini, which is Fair 4N, which is closer to my shade, especially for winter, but this is almost empty. In fact, it's probably going to be done within another use or two. But both of these are very nice. I'll just put on a little bit so you can see sort of the color differences. So this is a pretty decent color for me, and then this one is just a little lighter. I actually usually end up mixing these two together to get my preferred shade, and I actually have a large one of this waiting to go, but I'll keep this, get what little out of it I can. I've also got a little Smashbox BB Cream. I think this is way too dark. Yeah, this is like, it's called light, but this is very dark comparatively to the other ones. So I don't think that's gonna work for me. That's going to go away. I also have this Pure Elise Perfect Glow BB Cream. This is something I'm pretty sure I got in a BoxyCharm, and it is in the shade Light Medium, which I originally thought would be too dark, but the shade range on Pure Elise is sadly kind of bad, and it's very light in general, but that does mean that it works pretty well for me. I actually really like the texture of this. The color works pretty well too, and it's got a very nice finish, so definitely will be keeping that one. I've also got the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops in shade 3. It's the Blurring Skin Tint, and I'm still sort of testing this one out. It's giving my skin a little bit more texture than it should be, especially like around my chin and around my nose. It's not my favorite. Look how different these shades are. I wish I could find one that was actually my shade, but it seems like anytime I look for neutrals, they're always sold out, and everything I end up getting is too yellow for me. But I'll be keeping that. It's pretty new, still trying it out. I also have this Bareminerals Complexion Rescue. It's the Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. Another one, it's in Buttercream. Too yellow for me. And I also find this one pills up on me pretty badly, which is pretty disappointing because it's a gel. Like, it should go on nicely. Gel moisturizers are sort of my preferred thing, but my mom told me that she likes this product, so I'm going to give this to her. Okay, next we've got this CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk in 520 Fair. I like this okay. I've seen this mentioned in lots of videos, and people seem to either love it or hate it, and I think it's decent. It is a lighter shade, so it's definitely more of a winter one. I haven't worn it in the summer at all, but I haven't had any problems when I've been using it, so I will keep that as well. I also have this Joe Fresh Porcelain Matte Sheer Tint, which I honestly didn't really like. It just doesn't go on as nicely as some of these other products that I have, and it's also quite yellow for me, and it's also fairly old, so I think I'm going to be saying goodbye to this one. I also have the Ordinary Serum Foundation, and this is in 1.1P, fair with pink undertones. And I actually really love this. I hadn't used it for a while. It's a very liquidy product. But I started using it again, putting it on with one of those big sort of like paddle brushes. And I really like how this looks and how the finish is. So definitely keeping this one, and we'll try to wear it more to sort of branch out from the other things that I use more often. I have this It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream, which is just a little one, but I actually used this a couple weeks ago and really, really liked it. Oh, I think it's almost gone. I really liked the finish of it and the color of it. Now, this is a pretty expensive product, so I honestly don't see myself buying the full size of it, but I will keep this for the 1 or 2 uses that are left. And the last thing, it's a pretty new one. It's the Bareminerals Matte Foundation with SPF 15. It is in Fairly Light 03. And I honestly haven't given this a proper test yet. I just got it at Winners for, $12 or $13. So I'll try this out and see how I like it. Now I have drier skin, so I'm not sure how the powder foundation is going to go, but I thought it would be a good option just because all of my other foundations are either cream or serum. So that leaves us with all these guys here. So this little container is a bit of a hodgepodge. I have my concealers in here as well as my eyeshadow primers. So I'll just separate them out. Also lash glue, which is my only lash glue. I'm definitely keeping that. But here we go. I guess we'll just start with the eyeshadow primer since there are less of them. I'm going to be keeping all of these. This is the Collidos Tone Activator, and it is the most liquidy of all of them. I find that as an eyeshadow primer of the ones I have, this is definitely the best for making that eyeshadow really pop. It gives you the best sort of color payoff. It really deepens any color you're going to be putting on top of it. It is less good for reducing creasing and increasing wear time, but it's great at like just making those eye looks very dramatic. Then we have the Quo Brightening Eye Primer. I think this is the best one that I have for reducing creasing. It is kind of strange because it's like a somewhat shimmery primer. It's also like really tough to get out of the tube, and it's sort of a much thicker formula that you really need to spread out. But if you're okay with the shimmer in it, this is a really good eyeshadow primer. The Milani is my newest one, and it's by far the nicest to work with. It's got the nicest texture, it's the easiest to blend, and I would say it's sort of in the middle of the two, so it's good for creasing and longer wear, but not as good at making the eyeshadow color really intense as the Collidos. And last is the NYX Glitter Glue, which is amazing if you're using very high shimmer shadows. I'm not really a glitter girl myself, but it's just this very sticky formula that you can pat your shimmer eyeshadows on top of. I do get creasing with this. I need to learn to like just keep my eyes closed or something for 5 minutes after I apply my eyeshadow with this, but it's very good if you want a very highly shimmery look. And then we've got our concealers. My go-tos are generally the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is in G11. You can see I've used a fair bit of it. It's a very light coverage. It's very easy to work with. I do find it needs to be set a lot of the time because it is a very sort of wet formula that doesn't always dry down by itself, but I just really love the color and the light coverage of this one, so keeping this. My other favorite one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, and this is in Light 40N. Another one that is nice to work with, fairly moisturizing, doesn't crease too badly or anything. This one will dry down on its own, unlike the Glossier one. I also have this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair, and this is a little bit dark for a concealer for me. I tend to use this not under my eyes or anywhere where a highlight would go, but sort of like as a spot concealer to get any redness or like around my nose and things like that. I also have the Quo Beauty Miracle Cover Concealer. This is similar to the Maybelline. I do not like this under my eyes. It's a little too dry to go under my eyes and does give me some creasing. But again, if I have like any spots I want to conceal or like around my nose, any redness, this is good for that. I have this Joe Fresh, which if you can probably see is basically gone. I think I can let go of this now. This is another very light coverage, which I really, really like. But yeah, it's basically gone. We'll say goodbye to that. We also have this Hey Honey, treat your skin and trick your imperfections. And this is in Natural Tone, and it is just like way too dark for a concealer for me, I think. Yeah, so it's sort of dark, a little kind of orangey for me. So I'm going to get rid of this. I believe I got this in like an Ipsy or something a while back. And then last, this is my newest one. This is from Cheekbone, and this is their Sustain Complexion Pencil. And this can be used for whatever you want. So they've got this really, like, what is it, like a 7 or 8 shade range, which doesn't sound like much, but you can use these if they're lighter as a highlighter. You can use it as a concealer. You could use it as an all-over face thing. If you get a darker one, you can use it for bronzer or contouring. And it's just like a nice stick formula. You can just draw it on and it blends out really nicely. And yeah, I just got this a few days ago, so I haven't had a ton of time to test it out, but looking forward to using this more. So we only got rid of 2 things in there, but that's okay. I think this is an okay amount of concealers and primers to use, so that's that. So here we have some powders, and I mainly use powders to set under my eyes as well as sometimes dust across my sort of T-zone, especially if I'm going to be streaming or making videos. I can get pretty shiny there. So my most used thing right now is this Naked Cosmetics Translucent Finishing Powder. I would really like to finish this up this year. It's just a nice sort of translucent powder, pretty easy to use. What do I have? Yeah, maybe I can finish it. We'll see. But keeping that one. My other most used one is this Dermablend Loose Setting Powder. So this is just, it's not like a white powder. It's got a nice sort of texture to it. I also quite like this one. I use it for this basically the same reasons. I've got this pretty vulgar translucent setting powder, and I think I might get rid of this. This came in a BoxyCharm a while ago, and I honestly haven't used that much of it. It's got this puff, which I really don't like, but I don't know, it's fine. It's nothing special. I just kind of feel like I will never in my life go through all the powder that I have here, so maybe someone else would like this, I hope. I also have this little Laura Mercier setting powder. I was happy when I got this. I don't remember where I got this, but it's another sampler, obviously. But it's not matte. It's it's a shimmery one. And I don't want shimmer all over my face, so I don't think this is something that I would ever really use. Yeah, you see how shimmery that is? So I'm going to get rid of this as well. I just don't really see a use for it in my collection. I got this Juvia's Place one. This is I Am Magic setting powder in White Sands. Why did I buy this when I already have more powder than I would ever use? Because I wanted to make my order worthwhile, and I thought this would be a nice product to try. I haven't used it too much, but so far I like it. And I will keep it because it's literally brand new. And lastly, this is also something that came in a BoxyCharm. This is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. And I haven't used this yet. I haven't wanted to open it because just the word Hydra in there makes me think like, is this going to dry out? So, yeah, I haven't tried it. This is still closed. I really want to. Maybe when I finish the naked one, I will finally open this up and give this a proper try. But it looks beautiful, very finely milled. And I love everything that I've tried from Becca before. So I'll hold on to that. Hope it stays fresh and good since it's still sealed. Oh, that just leaves us with 4 powders. They probably don't need this big of an acrylic. Okay, let's do something more fun now. Base products are all well and good, but my favorite thing about makeup is the color and doing creative looks with that. So I've got, a lot more blush than any of the other products I've shown so far. I've really decided that cream blush is the way to go for me. Powder's just not doing it for me anymore, so I am going to be decluttering a number of things here. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so these are all of our blushes, so it's a good number of them. I'm going to start, okay, we've got this Burt's Bees blush. I bought this because of Kathleen Light. She was always talking about this toasted cinnamon, and it's just too brown for me, and it's like too warm and brown, and it's just not a nice blush on me. It just looks kind of orange. I don't really like it. I will be getting rid of that. Also, this Laura Geller, this came in a boxy charm. It is a baked blush, and I really don't like baked products at all, be they blushes or eyeshadows. They just don't do it for me. This is in Tropic Hues. It is a shimmery sort of pinky gold color, which is a color I have a lot of, first of all, but also I just not super into it. Gonna get rid of that. Ciate London, this is a kind of similar color. This is Marbled Light in Dusk. First of all, I really hate this packaging. It seems very cheap, and I don't like that. And it's another baked formula, and I just don't like it. Getting rid of it. We've got this Ginger and Gold Seraphine Botanicals, and I actually quite like this. I've used this a fair bit. I'm not sure if you can tell. It seems to take forever to go through these kinds of products for me, but I think you can tell that I've used it. It's nice. It's sort of getting a little hard pan almost on top. It's a nice color. I've gotten good use of it, but I think I'm going to let it go as well. It just, you know, it's getting harder to pick up the product. And I have one that I'm going to keep that sort of fills the need of all these goldy pink colors that I've gotten rid of. This is Hot Mama by The Balm. And I actually love this. So this is that color. I like it as a blush. I like it as an eyeshadow as well. So I'm going to keep this one, and that will sort of do to take the place of all the ones that I'm getting rid of. So keep this. Oh, forgot I had two other blushes to talk about. Okay, so we'll leave the cream till last since I'm basically keeping all of those. We've got this Note blush, which is a terracotta color, and I like this a lot. It's very deep. A lot of color payoff. But I just got this Rare Beauty, which is in the color Love, which is also a terracotta color. I've yet to use it yet, but this thing picks up way too much product. You see how much this is picking up? And every time I've seen someone make a video on these, they put on way too much. So I'm going to really have to be careful of that when it comes to actually putting it on my skin, on my face anyway. But I think, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I think those are basically sort of the same shade. I mean, this one's not blended out enough yet. This also has a really beautiful formula. Like, it almost feels powdery instead of wet. But yeah, I think this will take the place of that terracotta color. So I can get rid of this one as well. I'm going to also keep this Pacifica. This is actually a blush and bronzer duo, but I never use this as a bronzer. I use it just as a blush. I like sort of dipping in between the two, and I like this nice dusty rose color. It's not getting a lot of payoff there, but it's a really nice one, and I feel like I can pan this one day, so I'm going to keep this one as well. The other powder one I'm going to keep is the Pretty Vulgar. This is in Prim Vixen, and I'm just keeping this one because I don't really have a cream in this color. If I do get one, then maybe I will look into getting rid of this later, but I'm going to keep this one for now. So the rest of my creams I'm going to keep as well. I will show you the Quo. These are from Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada, and I really like these. I've gotten a fair bit of use out of most of these since I got them. This color is Saint, which is a sort of deeper berry color. Really nice. This one is a peachy color. It is in the color Heavenly. It looks a little strange in the tube. Like, it looks like two colors are not quite mixed together. But when you actually put it on your skin, it just looks like a beautiful, a beautiful peachy color. So that one's nice as well. Also got the brownish shade. This is in Pure. And this can work kind of like as a contour bronzer as well as a blush. So sometimes I like to put this one a little lower on my cheekbones than I would put, you know, a more red or pinky color. And then the last one is Angelic, which is just a very sort of cotton candy bubblegum pink. So I like all of these and we'll be keeping them. The other ones I have, I've got my two Fenty creams, and these are in Petal Poppin', which is another bubblegum pink. Maybe a little too similar to the Quo pink one. Maybe I should have chosen a different color, but yeah, they're fairly similar colors. Then we've got Daiquiri Dip, which is sort of like a bright corally red, which is also really nice. Put that here. And then I have these others, which are also new. These are by LYS, which is Love Yourself. I actually don't love the packaging. Like, this triangle packaging is just very, very big. And like, they don't fit nicely in my little drawers. But this is Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in Empower. This is a very beautiful deep color. Definitely need to have a light hand when putting this on myself, but it's beautiful and it's not like any other colors I have. I just really love that deep red color. And then this one is in Self Love. Now, the Sephora Canada website, the swatch and the pictures look so much lighter on the website than they do here. This was a sort of, I thought it was like a pale kind of dusty rose. This is definitely deeper than I was expecting it to be, which is fine. I can just have a light hand when going in, but it's just another really beautiful color. I actually really like that. I want to put that on my face soon. These just arrived yesterday, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that selection of cream blushes, and then the terracotta one that I already swatched before. And then the last one is the Benetint by Benefit, which is a just really nice, very natural looking blush. If you want to just, you know, look like a very natural flush, you can just put a little bit on your cheeks and it pats in really nice. Not the most long lasting or pigmented formula, but I do quite like this. I've had it for many years, and I think I will have it for many more years. All right, my hands are a little stained here. I just have my homemade all-purpose cleanser rather than proper makeup remover with me, but that's okay. So we've got all of our creams here. Well, all the tube creams, and then we've got these. And then, yeah, I wish these sort of fit nicer, but so that's our little blush collection now. Actually got rid of quite a few, got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, happy with that. So these are very little collections. These are bronzers, highlighters, contours. Not too many here. You can probably tell these are not where my interests lie when it comes to makeup. I've also got a couple, oh, I forgot another palette, a couple palettes here that we'll look at. Actually, first of all, I sort of forgot this with the blushes. This is the Alomar Blush Trio, and I really like these, especially this middle shade. It's just beautiful, cool pink. And then we've got more of a corally red and then more of an orangey shimmer shades. I'm going to be keeping these. I quite like these. Okay, but now with the actual face products. So we'll start with the bronzers, I guess. I've got this Benefit Hoola. I've had this for many years. I was actually thinking that I was ready to get rid of it. Like, it barely looks like I've used it, even though I've had it for years. It may be starting to get a dip. And I was gonna get rid of this, and then I learned somehow how to use this and how, you know, maybe looking like I have a tan isn't the worst thing in the world sometimes. So I'm going to keep this. Now the Ciate London one, this is a bamboo bronzer. I think I'm going to get rid of it. I don't really need many bronzers. They're all kind of the same to me. And this one is just okay to work with, so I think I'm going to get rid of that. This Fenty cream is in the shade Amber, and this is really the best contour that I've used. It's the only contour that actually feels like contour for me. It's like a very cool and also fairly light color, so it works really well. Obviously going to be keeping that one. And then we have some more. This is a Cheekbone palette in Sand. It comes with another either bronze or contour here, which I quite like the shade of. It's got a matte sort of brightening setting powder, which also I like quite a bit. And then it has this highlight, which is quite a subtle highlight that I like. I'm honestly not that big of a highlighter fan, so this works for me if I do want, you know, just a little bit of a glow, so I'll be keeping that. My other highlighters, strangely, my other favorite highlighter is this Artist Couture in Purple Dream. So it's almost like an orangey purple kind of glow, which seems, you know, not at all subtle. But if I'm going to do a colorful look, I actually really like this color and the reflect in it. So I will be keeping this. Don't use it a ton, but when I do have a need for it, I really like this product. This is my Merry Luminizer by The Balm. This is a mess. Like, I've had this for so many years. It shattered. I repressed it. It's just very, very messy. Maybe I should try to repress it yet again, but I think I'm just going to say goodbye to this one. It's quite old. It's messy anytime I open it. I think it's time to say goodbye. Like, it's probably been 8 or 10 years since I bought this. And then we have this Pretty Vulgar one. This is in Shimmering Swan, a bit more of a bronzy color. I honestly don't use this very much. Let's see. Like, it's okay. But, I mean, I guess I'll keep it just because I don't really have a goldish. You know what? Actually, no, I don't need this. I wear it so infrequently. I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. And then lastly, we have this Quo face palette that I got. And I think I might depot these if it's possible to depot. They do look like they're in here pretty good. But I do like this contour shade. It's pretty nice. I do like the sort of more white highlighter. I feel like that could take the place of the Merry Luminizer, and then more of a bronzy highlighter if I need it. So I like these top three. These bottom three, like the blushes don't really do anything for me. This bronzer is way too red and way too dark. But if at all possible, I'm going to try and depot these top three colors and just put them in their own little palette. So we'll see. So I don't know. I don't even know if I need these anymore. There's not much to go in these things. I have a couple little setting sprays. This first one is by Tarte, which came in a BoxyCharm. It is called Ready Set Radiant Skin Mist. And I'm not totally sure what this does. If it's a setting spray, I use it just to sort of like, if I put powder on, I like to spray this just to sort of like melt the powder down so I don't look too powdery. But I'm I'd say I'm about 2/3 done with this, so this is another thing I'm going to try to use up this year, if at all possible. And then I've got the Pretty Fresh Setting Mist from ColourPop, and I like this as well. Again, I don't use it very all the time, but if I'm going to be using something with powder, I will tend to just give a little spritz with this at the end. Okay, so now we have our eyebrow products, and eyebrows are a thing that I go back and forth with a lot. A lot of the time I like a powder. This is just a Quo, the brow powder. I think this is in dark brown, and it's just a loose powder. It also comes in a lighter brown, which I don't use all that often, but around half the time this is what I use to do my brows, and then I all of a sudden forget how to use it, or it just stops working for me, and then I go on to more of a micro pencil instead. But I will be keeping these just because they're sort of my old standbys. Now this one, this is an iconic London Sculpt and Boost Eyebrow Cushion. And this is kind of a strange one. It's got like this little cushion with two colors, and it comes with this really shitty brush, which is maybe part of the reason I don't like it very much, but you're just supposed to sort of dip into it, and then it goes on kind of like a pen. But I don't love this. I have better products than it, and it is kind of drying out now, so I will be getting rid of this one. So now we've got various eyebrow pencils. I'm currently using this NYX Professional Micro Brow Pencil. It is in the shade Espresso. It's actually a tiny bit too red for me. I think I need like an ash brown or something, because even though I have red hair, I like my eyebrows to be cool, not warm, but it works okay. I do like this pencil. I've also got the NYX Lift and Snatch, and this is more of the little felt tip brow pen, which I quite like as well. This is good. I feel like I still need to get better at actually using it, but I do quite like this. I think I'm done with this. This is a Benefit Give Me Brow. Oh no, Precisely My Brow. It's like a little pencil for ants that I got in the Sephora sample. There's maybe enough to do like one more eyebrow in here, so I think I'm just gonna say goodbye to that right now. I also have this e.l.f. brow pencil, and it's got the really nice spoolie on the end, although it's kind of large. But I just really like the micro pencils much more than these. And yeah, this is actually brand new, although I think I bought it quite a while ago. And like, while the point is so pointy, it works okay. But then as soon as it dulls, it's just way too thick for me to do anything with it. So maybe someone will want this. I'll put it aside. And then I've got various brow products. Oh, this is the conditioning primer, which someone once said helps grow your eyebrows. I don't know if that's true. I honestly use this very infrequently. Sometimes I remember and it feels nice, and it kind of does make my brows feel thicker, but I have so few brows that it doesn't really matter. But I will use this up. I'm going to try to use this up again by the end of this year. I've got a Brow Defining Gel in Clear by Cella. I think this is actually basically done. Yeah, I think this is basically empty, so I'm going to throw that away. I've got the Essence Make Me Brow. This is filling and fibers in it. This is okay, but the thing takes way too much on the spoolie. Like, I always have to just clean it off. There's just way too much product on it. But this is an okay product. I will continue to use this just sort of to keep things in place. I also have the Benefit Give Me Brow. This was just a little mini that I bought. And I love this tiny little spoolie, but I think this is pretty much dried out by now. So I'm going to get rid of this as well. I also have this Anastasia one. It was just a sample that I just recently got. I didn't love it, honestly. I feel like the spoolie is kind of crappy and just puts product everywhere, but I'll give it another try or two. And lastly, this is just an Essence Lash and Brow Gel Mascara, so you can use this just either as a clear mascara or to very lightly brush your brows in place. And this is fine, nothing to write home about, but I will hang on to it as well. So that has reduced our amount of eyebrow products by quite a bit. And lastly, we're just gonna do mascara. So these are all the mascaras I currently have. This is the Essence Lash Princess Volume. I've liked this as I've had it. I think this is probably about 2 years old now, so I think it's time to let it go. I will probably pick up another Lash Princess since I hear people talk about them so fondly. Maybe one of the waterproof ones this time, but I think this one is a little past its expiry date. I'm not the kind of person who will get rid of these after 6 months. Like, I'll keep a mascara for 2 years, which maybe is bad, but I can't buy a new mascara every 6 months. I've got this Too Faced Better Than Sex. This one is also, I think, sort of nearing the end of its lifespan. I've had it for a while. I generally really like this mascara, and I like the shape of the wand. I'm going to keep it for a little while. I think this is another one I'm going to say by the end of the year, either it's going to be finished or I'm going to say it is past its prime and get rid of it. I also have this Lilly Lashes Triple X Mascara, which I haven't been using much lately, but I did really like this when I got it. It's not my favorite brush in the world, but the formula is really nice and lengthening and thickening. I should probably use this up a little more. I have the Lancome Lash Idole, which is very nice. It reminds me a little bit of the Glossier Lash Slick, which I ran out of and kind of want to buy again. But it's just got these like really fine comb on the brush, which I really like. And it's just a very nice sort of lengthening, separating, thickening, just like a little bit of everything, but not too much of any one thing. I've got the ColourPop Act Natural Defining Mascara. I was actually hoping, based on the design of the package and what it said on the website, that this would be like the Glossier Lash Slick, but unfortunately it's nothing like it, and it's got this big fat brush that I don't really care for. It's fine. I mean, I just got it, I think, earlier this year, so I'll hang on to it for another year and use it as much as I can. I've got this Tarte Big Ego, and I don't think I've ever used this before. This was another thing that came in a BoxyCharm. I've had it for probably a year, but I haven't used it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it looks kind of like the Better Than Sex wand, at least. But yeah, once I'm sort of finished with the Better Than Sex, I will probably give this one a go, but keeping it because I haven't tried it yet. This is a kind of gimmicky product, another one from BoxyCharm. This is Trestique, and it's got mascara, but it's also got this like little mini curler that you can only use on like a third of your eyelashes at a time. So you've got the curler in there, and then you've got the mascara. I actually kind of like this brush. It's like a nice small hourglass, but I actually haven't tried this mascara before. Maybe I should. I'll try it. I don't know. I'll try it in a video sometime soon and see what I think about it. And lastly, we've got just a sample of the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Volume Mascara. I haven't used this yet. I just got it in a recent order, but let's see what it looks like. Oh, I hate that. I really hate that brush, and there's so much product on there. I don't know if I want to put this on my eyelids. Yikes. Is this what yours looks like if you have a full size? I don't like that. But, you know, I should use it at least once, so I'll keep that too. And that means that's the remains of our mascara collection. Okay, so that is the end of this collection and declutter video. This is all the stuff I'm getting rid of, which I think is a pretty good declutter. A lot of stuff that I just don't really use all that often. Hopefully someone else will want this. If we know each other in real life and you see anything here that you want to try out, let me know and I will hang on to it for you. Otherwise, I think most of it's going to go in the garbage because this isn't the kind of stuff you can donate since it's been used and it's not new. But yeah, that's it. I plan to do another one of these for my eyeshadow collection since eyeshadows is definitely what I have the most of. And some palettes just really aren't getting any love anymore. But yes, I hope you liked this video and seeing all of my makeup and seeing what I'm decluttering. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.